in Fremont wearing my sweater at a chilly 50 degrees for a California winter day, and wanted to show you this repair. It's an empty, and look at this. Every repair guy's dream. We got the house to ourselves. We're going to be going upstairs. Got the shoe covers on. House is empty, obviously, and the carpet's clean, but what is this? A stain in the master bedroom? That's not acceptable. Look at another repair guy's dream. We got the extra roll of carpet right there. So I've got my new lapel on. I've got the iPhone 13 cinematic mode so you can catch this gorgeous view. Not just outside, I'm talking about the carpet. And so thanks for joining me along. I'm just going to sit, edit, and talk with you because no one's here. So let's get this stain taken care of. Shall we? Of course we shall. I got an outlet here, so I'm going to plug in to get some light. Let's see. This is live. I think this will be good right here. We'll see. Maybe I'll edit this out. I don't know. You know, it takes a lot of time to edit these videos. Who else is out there? You guys work hard, you do your job, and then you're putting these videos, you're saying the same thing over and over again. You're wondering who's listening, who's watching. You're trying to get new customers. You're trying to help your family. You're trying to put food on the table. And this is what does it. Carpet cleaners have tried. Now, some of you out there, I'm getting low. I'm doing some core here. Okay, can you see the gap under here? I'm on the balls of my feet and my elbows. I said balls of my feet, and some of you got nervous. Now, I can't really move my hands here, but this stain, okay, what am I want to get knee pads on. I can't talk to the camera. You're just going to have to hear my voice. This has been cleaned out. It is set. Some of you cleaners want to say, oh, I could clean it. Maybe you could. But my customers are tired of trying to clean it. They just want it to be sectioned. There's more than one way to cook an omelet. My customers like the taste of mine. Eat the omelet the way you want to. I'm going to do mine. Okay. Why do I always have to yell? I'm actually pretty happy today. It's a beautiful day. And let's get our gear set up. See, what I got to do is eventually make my way into carpet cleaning. But I'm an installer, like my father before me. Installing's what we did. We'd go to the houses and the customers would say, the carpet guys are here. I got to let you go, to whoever they were talking to. So when I started my business, it was carpet guys, and then 2013 incorporated to become the carpet repair guys. Of course, that's normally followed up by, how many guys you got? I've had a few. 3 trained technicians. And now I've got 1 on retainer who gets subbed out work. But I'm going to just take this video to more of the people who typically watch me. Normally I'm quiet when I'm doing these things. Today I'm just going to share my thoughts in my mind. Let's talk about business. Business. You know, there, of course, anyone's going to say that the risk to go and hire more guys and get more trucks is not easy. And I think because of that, a lot of people are content to never try, and they will never get off the truck. They'll always be working. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm seeing if I have what it takes to get this thing going outside of myself here in the Bay Area. But I'm not smart enough for all that. So I've got to get smart or find someone who's smart to help. Until then, I'm just going to be doing this kind of stuff every day. And if I can help some people along the way, great. Maybe one day I can do training in person, in-house. I think that would be awesome. Maybe one day buy a carpet cleaning business or something. I don't know. One thing I'm proud of is the fact that more people know that repair is an option. When I first got going with this, no one did. My customers would finally find me and say everyone said no, or the people who put their carpet in went out of business. So I do these repairs now. I'm stopping talking because this goofy pattern is hard for me to get into. This has got to be the cross seam. We got a looped cut pile, subtle little zigzag pattern. I find you can just make it through. Just take your time. Let's see how we're doing this way. Oh yeah, look at that. Just going in nice. Okay. Or I don't know, maybe I'll be doing this 30 years from now. I'm enjoying it. I don't know if this will open up more opportunities or other doors. Anyone out there franchise? I know there's other guys who are doing this and hiring and training guys, and they're big on the SEO of the business. So I think there's something out there. I think there's a lot of opportunity. And I've always liked the saying, rising tide raises all ships. So if I can be part of the tide of carpet repair coming to the minds of more consumers when they run into this problem, then I think it'll help me and help others. For years, I only posted pictures of my work. I didn't do these videos. You know, you don't want people to see your secret sauce, as they say. But you know what I found by just putting myself out there and making these videos? People come to know you, they respect you, you get to help others, and then for my customers who maybe even gave this a try, this happened to me on a earlier job today. It wasn't easy. It didn't look as good as they thought. So guess who they hired? They hired me. So I don't think you're putting yourself out of work. I think you're giving yourself more work. Let's finish this off. Some basics with tracing. You're never going to have a perfectly square or rectangular vertical and horizontal here on the cross seams especially. So in a way, you just try to follow that pattern on this type of carpet and make those lines as straight as you can. And then we're going to measure and use that as this donor carpet here. Make it a template to go right back. Okay, it's looking good. Let me take a look and see how this is going. Do I have it all traced out there? Yeah, you can see that. Okay, What are we talking about? Oh yeah, putting yourself out there, just trying. You gotta enjoy what you do. You gotta love it. And with the opportunities today on social media, man, you can have quite a little following. That's what I found myself in the last couple years of just getting consistent doing this. I've been meeting people from all around the world, especially the technicians who do this. It's an awesome thing. So there's a community out there for everyone. Just, be respectful. And so many people are realizing that you can learn something from everyone, even if it's how not to do something, right? Okay? But I think at the end of the day, if your customers are happy, you got awesome reviews, you're getting paid, and here's a big one, you're not getting callbacks, right? I mean, then there you go. People can say, oh, what you're doing voids a warranty, or I don't use those tools. Let them. If you use them and like them, then go for it. Okay, now normally we don't like to see these little fibers been flopping all over the place. When you do your cuts, you want them to go right in between those rows and columns, right? So these are little soldiers, little casualties of the cut. Could have been a better cut. I won't get political. Today, Russia just invaded Ukraine. So that's been on my mind, and that's been on the radio podcast that I listen to. I want to protect all these innocent little fibers, these little casualties. But what can I do? You can only do so much in life. Let's try to take care of what you have. Okay, getting back to carpet. And don't bury your head in the sand either, right? I mean, okay, back to carpet. Carpet. You're the carpet repair guys, okay? That's what you do. I'm looking at the backing. I'm making sure it's looking nice and tight still. And that's what I'm seeing. Talked to a carpet cleaner who just took some certification classes over in the UK. And he's really working on, his cuts aren't always lining up. And I say that the first step to a good patch is the cut, followed by the condition of the carpet, blending it in with a pumice rock, rubbing it on concrete as necessary, and then cleaning. For you cleaners out there, boy, then you just run your machine over it, and that really helps to blend it. For me, I just use a spot cleaner. In case some of you didn't realize, I don't clean carpets, so that's why I'm constantly taking out Folex. When I got started doing this, I didn't have the Cool Glide. I just used a hot melt. Back in the day, we had D15 glue, and now it is Parabon M363, and that's the seam sealer that I use. The other glue was discontinued in California, known to cause cancer. What we do for the ones we love, what we put ourselves through. Okay. One thing that's annoying to me, I've gone back and uploaded these videos. I'm not talking. I hate when you hear yourself breathing, especially if the schnoz isn't cleared. So any of you who've stuck through these videos, word of advice, lower down that volume. I can't promise that I'm not going to be breathing. All right, sometimes, I take it out here to avoid the seam. I feel like these seams, because they're vertical, it's not even a cross seam, they're easier to blend. And direction-wise with the carpet, I'm not too worried about it. So I just save myself from taking it all the way over here. No problem if you want to go that way, but that's my thought process here because of the direction of the carpet. And also it's out of the foot traffic area as well. So this would be my least visible seam that I'm worried about showing. This one being probably the most, maybe wrapping around here. But at least it's still kind of pushed off to the side from where you enter. All right. That's prepped. Latex is going to go down, but I'm going to wait until after the cut. I like to do a lot of dry tests and fits to make sure everything's looking good. Then I put this. Some guys use hot glue. No problem, but I was just talking to that gentleman as well about this. So it's in my mind. Boy, you use enough hot glue, that's going to beat up and it's going to get all over the edge. And then it's going to darken and your seams are going to showcase. So I'd be real careful and cautious with this kind of latex. Again, for cut pile carpets, I don't really use it because I don't get callbacks, and those tufts just come out if they do one or two at a time. And any loop carpet, I'm going to do it, but those tufts want to easily get into that glue, and then you're going to. That's why your patches are showing, or at least one of the reasons. So. Again, that's my thought on latex, hot glue, buttering up your seam edges. See how dried out this is. Okay, let's flip this over. There's our lines. This is the way we're going. We're going to cut here. Carpet looks very white. Comparison. Okay. Ruffled, smooth, light, dark. This is where sometimes it's hard to tell. I'm going to say this is smooth, ruffled, light, dark. So light this way. So I need to switch this around. Just to double check, we do the paper test. You line up these vertical lines here. They're going to be the translucent lines. The wavy, opaque lines on the backing. Those are your cross seams. Cross grain. That's easy, smooth. Going in the direction. Let's see if I was right. Please be right for the camera. Yeah. Okay. So it is going that way. So that's how you can tell if your carpet is, well, first of all, it should never be quarter turn, but it could be needing to go 180 degrees, right? So once you have that, that is part of what I would call the cut. That is part of cutting your section piece, your insert to go in place. It has to be run in the right direction. That reduces greatly the visibility of your patch or bonded insert or permanent section, if you want to sound fancy. I used to always say patch, and then I went to this IICRC class, and all the guy talked about for 2 days was unicycles. Embarrassing story. In fact, my wife was shocked when I came home, and what did I buy? I bought a unicycle. I'm out in the backyard after a carpet seminar class, riding a unicycle. Not my proudest of days. Is it proud or proudest? These lines will be nice, easy to line up. That's why I got a passion to just teach this. I mean, when I was in that class, we barely learned about how to scissor and blend little burn marks, right? We weren't doing the cutouts. We didn't even do anything larger than a couple inches. And there was a carpet cleaner I met there who he drove all the way from Idaho to come, and I just was disappointed for him that trying to broaden his business goes to one of these classes, and it just wasn't practical. Did we learn all about Axminsters, Weltons? Did we learn about all of the history behind these carpets? That's not what people are putting in their houses, you know? People have dogs that rip up the carpet at the doorway. They got a large stain that won't come out, and they're trying to sell their house. And who knows how long carpet is going to be in demand. We all get it. Hardwood's better, okay? No one's arguing with you. It's just more expensive, and it is cold. You can put your little area rugs on it. But at least here, California, a lot of kind of grandfathered in guidelines about putting carpet in, especially in apartments between levels, is really mandated so that people don't have noise problems, because they're not going to retrofit with all of the new tech to do better soundproofing. So that's a little job security. Okay, let me just run this and measure and see. When you got a pattern carpet, I don't cut from the backing, only from the top. I don't want to cut in between those rows or have it go off. What I got here is, let's just flip it. I've got 18 and an eighth, 18 and an eighth, maybe 3/16. So, did I do it? Yep. That looks like an eighth, maybe at the 16th. If I go over one, then I'm under 18. So that's just going to have to work. Okay, don't get confused here. But because of my blade, I'm going to flip this over. And please remind me to flip that back so the direction's going the same way. And we flipped it. Okay. Rather than move the carpet, I should move around, but I didn't want to honestly give you guys this view, if you know what I mean, right? So I'm trying to spare you. But here I'm going to move to the side. We're just having a fun time here, okay? I got no script to follow. I'm trying to just get more comfortable in my element, in my zone. You know, this is my wheelhouse. How many thousands and thousands of these have I done? I'm not dreaming yet of carpet repair. I've yet to dream of fixing carpet. All right, so what I'm looking at this point here is where my pattern is. We've got the loop, and we've got the cut. I want a full cut. For my guys, I used to teach them, these are the niblets. Okay, so I need a full. Here's a niblet. I got a niblet on this corner, a full, and a full. So only one niblet. So I'm going to go right here. Just whatever you want to call it to help your memory. And remember, this is a cross seam, so this is not wanting to cooperate, getting between these columns. Just take your time, think about what you love, think about your family, little kids waiting to play kickball or volleyball practice when you get home. That loved one wrapping you up in her arms, a little gentle kiss, a little meal in your belly. And that's what I love about this type of job, just the simplicity of seeing people, meeting them, taking care of a problem, and rewarding feeling at the end of the day. Josh, are you channeling your Ross, the painter? Bob Ross? Maybe. Is that a bad thing? Maybe a little Jim Gaffigan in there too, talking to yourself? Yeah, could be. All right. Now, if I can match up I'll call it my right angle for my corner. That's the most important. But again, if I did that on a normal cut pile, then I would flip it over, get my measuring tape, and back cut it. But we can't do that, right? Because it's a pattern. So if I have any type of skew or off square, then what I'm going to do is have to manipulate and stretch the carpet. Now, what I find that's easier than now having to re-stretch and move ripples in a whole room is to actually cut your insert a little shy. And that's why you always see me with these seam clamps, because then I can stretch and move, treating your little patch like a little mini install when you're stretching in a room. And that's how you're kind of making that work in. This is nice. I've got a little gap. Something this size, I usually try to be about a 1/16 of an inch shy, maybe an 1/8. Again, it's nice it's by a wall because I can use some of that to come this way. Your patch is going to show if your seams, as my dad always said, are they gapped or are they lapped? No gaps and no laps, he would say. Still does. Up in Washington, semi-retired, doing the repair thing now. Like father, like son in the carpet business, and now like son, like father in the repairs. I love it. This is better. It's better on the body. And you know what? God bless you installers out there. See, for me, I was turning 30, and I was doing an install with my buddy Eric over at Rivermark in Santa Clara. Mike, a real estate agent there, was always so kind to give me his jobs, but they were always so big. I was teaching at a Christian school at the time, and while I'm doing all of this, I'm trying to do these big jobs, hiring help, and we'd have to work and get these done at deadlines. I'm working in these little tiny townhouses. Neighbors are then knocking on the door, and the worst part was when the police were there. They called and said there was a noise disturbance. How embarrassing. How sad for these people to be trying to live and sleep at night, and we're working so late trying to get this done. And I just said then and there, I'm not going to take on any more installs. Because if I got an install, I'm going to do it. And I had to do all of his installs in order for me to keep getting that. Again, I could have downsized, maybe said no to some of the big ones, but I felt like that was a good opportunity as I was turning 30 to see if I could make a thing of carpet repair. So yeah, it's been 8 years, no installs. Occasional one will sneak in if a customer, I'm doing a repair and they have some small thing, the carpet's already there, maybe a friend. But this is much easier work. But here's the deal. I got to focus on the task. Nibble it, nibble it. The deal is, a lot of guys doing this aren't the installers. They are the cleaners, right? So a lot of them don't have really the tools. See, they have the demand, but maybe not the training, the tools. So what you got to do is give the cleaners enough confidence, because they're already there trying to save the carpets, right? The customer's determined, I'm not getting rid of the carpet. I'm trying to save the carpet. So give them the experience. Give them the courage to cut up someone's carpet and not wonder. And let me know, have any of you ever had a job go south? Any one of you who do this, has there ever been a customer or a big ordeal? Let me know if you don't mind being candid, but where you weren't paid. Only one job where I wasn't paid, and it was from a stinking carpet store in Sacramento, subcontracted. And the check was in the mail. And I found out they went out of business, and then the number was disconnected. What was I going to do? I think by then the homeowner had already moved, and it was $600, somewhere around there, maybe $7. Had to pay the guy at the time, Chris, was the one giving me the work. So he got his cut and everything, and I was waiting. But that's maybe one of the reasons why. I don't know. Also, let me know this. How do you get your money? I'm all about collect upon completion. Now it's easy. You can Venmo me, PayPal, Cash App. I'll take a credit card over the phone, although I get charged for it. But I would rather do that than wait for a check. In fact, I got one guy, a homeowners association from December I'm still waiting on. So I try to line that up and get it clear. Most of the time, though, I'm able to collect and get my money right away. So that's nice. I've also not had anyone ever write a hot check or something either. So yeah, I think the nature of this job, people are happy that you're able to save them and help them out. You're saving them money. They're not having to pay the expensive new carpet. Take this job here. What if this customer decided to put in, I don't know, how many rooms I got? 10 grand? Could be less. It's a little more expensive here in California. What if they thought they'll put in new carpet, right? What if the new homeowner, the buyer, doesn't like it? What a waste. And I've heard cases where then they rip out new carpet and put it in. Well, that's just one of these first world problems / benefits that we have, but this makes sense. You don't want to sell a house with this welcoming you into the master. Like, what is this? What happened? Something was sitting here. I bet it was the bed. Let's do some detective work. There's a spill. Is this the bedpost? Because why would that be the nightstand? So there's the bedpost. Boom. Coffee late night. Maybe it was a romantic night and they brought wine. Is that orange wine? It looks brown. I don't know. And the whole night went south. Now the husband's upset. The wife is crying. She's in the bathroom with the door locked. Okay, you don't want that type of atmosphere when you walk in to buy a house. You want it to look clean. Even if the customer is then going to rip this all out and put hardwood. I got to stop talking and just... Here's going to be the moment of truth. Am I too long? I'd rather be too long than too short. Okay. Oh yeah. Too long. Long. Consistently long, so that's good. See, I was trying to follow that. And herein lies that problem. With patterns, I may have to lose a nib. That's what I was doing. I was matching the nib. But I'm too long there. So do I instead use this line, this seam edge? Would that look better? Here, here, right? Because I want this seam edge, this seam to look the best. If the pattern has to go off, let's have it push back further this way, right? On point, on point. If I were to go back here, that right there is, that's 3/8 of an inch. That is way too much to try to stretch. So I don't like that. So I'm going to try to go a quarter, which may mean that my pattern on that seam is going to be compromised. That is unfortunately part of this process. Now, if I'm still a little bit more here, maybe I'll go half into the little sequence pattern. That may look good too, but let's see. I think this is going to do it. Okay, let's get a fresh blade for this. Okay, this is in there. Yeah, maybe a little long. It's good there. Okay, decision time. I definitely don't want it long. It's going to be wavy and bunched up. So I think I'm going to try to take a little more off. I'll be closer to being back on. To pattern. We're a little longer in the middle. Okay. Okay, let's roll it back here. I think that's going to do it. Reverse roll it from how it's been rolled up. It's not too bad right there. Not too bad. Good. Okay. How's this looking from over here? And I'm still recording, 42 minutes in. All right, I mean, this looks like a patch. But from even further back here, definitely looks a lot lighter. See, from here. Oh yeah, that looks better. It's darker that way, but matches the shade of that carpet going in that direction. Okay. Well, that's the cut. Now it's all up to the other processes, conditioning and things, to try to get that looking invisible. Yeah, while I'm talking, while I'm thinking, carpet repair guys out there, what's the worst job you've ever seen? What's the best job you've ever done? You know, what's the most impossible thing that you were able to see happen? How about customers? We could talk forever about customers, right? I've been blessed. So many have been so nice. All good reviews. But how to handle customers, how to talk with them. Doesn't mean that we haven't had our share of problems. Yeah, not too long ago, I had a customer. She booked online, and it was one little area. She had dye and bleach marks, and she'd only scheduled the repair for I don't know, let's say it was 3 inches. But I could tell, just like that stain, that the damage went beyond it. So I looked nearby, and there was another stain that was even more visible and pronounced than beyond what she expected me to cut out. So I explained that to her. Normally I would just cut out more, but I typically would charge more. And she acted like she was okay with it. I did that repair, but then she also wanted me to look at another area under her desk that was unraveling. It was a loop Berber. Well, without charging, I fixed the loops. But in her mind, she was expecting me to cut out what would have been a 6 foot by 4 foot area in the middle of a room. Mind you now, this was all late in the afternoon, scheduled between 3 and 4 p.m. I wasn't about to start a job that size, nor did I think it was necessary. She walked in and saw the repair. Oh, that looks good. Those were her words. Then she saw that I didn't complete this huge area under her desk. And then she just started getting real snippy. I lost her quick. Boy, you know that moment when a customer becomes your enemy. And I realized I did not explain everything ahead of time. She was high-end house. She seemed to be busy, and sometimes you just take for granted how many times you've explained the process. So all of a sudden now she's real upset. And then she goes back to the repair that she had already signed off on. Oh, I can still see some of it. She saw the staining. Well, at this point, what am I going to do? Trying to explain, you said that was okay, and we're trying to keep the cost down. So I said, you know what? Her husband comes out. What's going on? And then they start arguing because he's actually sticking up for me. Now she's mad at him. I said, you know what, folks? Just this one's on the house. Don't even worry about it. He follows me outside trying to pay me, apologizing for his wife. But I knew better than to take that money. I said, don't even worry about it. We'll call it even with the $50 deposit for my trouble. And that was it. So, those things happen. You just gotta, expectations is really important. But my website is great. I had 4 people yesterday book online, scheduled work, up to 2-3 weeks from now. So I highly recommend investing in a website, especially if you can find a way to build in a booking process where you don't have to quote it. They can, in mine, they put a $50 deposit down, and then it shares to my Google Calendar, and then I confirm by email, get pictures, and again walk through the steps, make sure they understand. Okay, I got a little clog here. Come on. Look at this. Okay, let's get to where we're going. Let's butter that edge, because we do have some loops in there. But I'm going to be real cautious. My whole thing is, give it a... What is my whole thing? I used to tell my guys, Zach, John, and Jared, don't put a wall up. Just give it a little on the backing. If you put too much, it's going to pull down that material, that pile on the edge. All right, I don't do this side because if I make it tight enough, I feel like it's going to bond that edge as well. Because why would you want to have a wet edge going into a wet edge, and then a wet edge falls on this side of the carpet? Now you got to use your solvent. What a mess. Okay, so we're going to focus on this side first. I'm holding this edge up here. Got my needle nose. Nice and gentle, put it in place. We've already checked everything. Once it goes down, I want it coming back up. Okay, let's start here. Here's my markers on my arrows. Everyone sees your hands when you do this, and I got 2 marks. This happened today because I got a new pouch, right? It's so tight it's not loose. So guess what decided to be sticking up higher than it should be? Whoops-a-daisy, slice and dice right there, dumb blade, needs to go in its home. My old pouch was way down here. So that happened. Barely a nick, don't get nervous. And this, anyone know what this is? I'll give you a hint. I'm right-handed. Holding the dumb nail when you're trying to back up your tack strip. Slips off the edge, and what do? Not supposed to hit my thumb, hit the nail. So, it happens. I've yet to get a manicure. Why would I? But I have been putting lotion on. No one wants to make fun of my hands and my freckles. I may be freckled, but I'm not feckless. Call these hands freckles, but don't call them feckless. They get things done. Carpet guys out there, what do you do to occupy your time if you're not making a video and talking the whole time like I am? I love audiobooks. Do you listen to music? Do you read by listening to audiobooks? Are you into podcasts? I got my podcasts every day. Or are you just in the zone, mind clear? Are you working with other guys? Are you talking? Some of the best times doing this were with the guys. And they all had to leave and move to LA or take another job or get into HVAC. Working at Facebook. I'm going to do HVAC now. My problem was every time I'd work with those guys, I'd have to get us food. We ate out too much. Too much. Can't keep up that lifestyle. My go-to these days when I get home, if dinner's not ready quite when I'm there, stinking pickles, man. Pickles are so good. Those little crunchy kosher ones. And then I used to love Ritz crackers, but now it's these, is it the Keebler Elf crackers? The Club. Try those Club crackers. Do a few of those, and peanut butter pretzels from Costco are good. Look at this gap. I got to be careful going too far. I'm going to have to pull it. Make sure I let this dry enough. about you guys? Do you stop to eat? I've been on this thing now for quite a while where I won't stop to eat. I stop to eat and then I want to quit. I want to go home. Maybe a snack or something light. Okay. Man, we're getting there. Look at that. It looks good from this side. I hope it looks good over on that side. Yeah, these got a lot of spring-loaded grip power. I need this tool to see. Oh, yeah. Dad, you would approve. No gaps and no laps. Very good and very well. Let's get a little coolness. Now, that seamer down is really nice. I've heard so many good things. That's just one more thing for me to carry. I'm not really looking to stretch the carpet too much, so this little fan from the Cool Glide cools this down, and I'm moving right along. I got limited space in my truck. I love downsizing from my work van when I used to install to that F-150 I have, but I maximize every space. So a seamer down tool, I got no spot to put it. That's pretty much the reason why I don't have one. I also think how many times I'd be carrying it up to these jobs. If I'm in San Francisco, walking sometimes city blocks on end to get to a job. How nice is it when you get to that place and they've got a parking spot for you in the driveway? I get around much. How about you guys? I have to go about 40 miles from Santa Clara in order to stay full-time with carpet repair. So now I'm in Fremont. I was in Gilroy this morning and then San Jose near Milpitas. So kind of all reverse traffic, which was nice. While this is doing its thing, let's go to this side here. Let's look over here. Okay, maybe it looks a little lighter. A little press down around the seams. What are some of the things you tell your customers? For me, I used to always say, it looks like a piece of furniture was sitting there. More than, will we see seam lines? Well, normally you don't see the seam lines as much as you see maybe an impression or if there's slight discoloration, right? Again, setting that expectation for your customers. I don't go, have you seen one of my millions of viewed TikToks? Have you looked at all my 5-star reviews? Why would I set myself up for failure? I'm glad when they haven't found me on those things, because now their expectation is probably a little lower. And then I can say, I'm going to do all of these things, walk them through the process. You undersell and you over-deliver. Okay, that's almost there. This doesn't need to get pulled down too much, so let's go here. This was the biggest one with the pull. Angle it to that corner. Sorry, buddy. I hope you're dry. I'm going to go this way. Yeah, I got this lapel wireless. Sounding pretty good so far for me testing it out, because I was in a house and it was so echoey. It was all empty. You had smoke detectors going off. So trying to up the game a little bit. Zach, if you're listening, get off my case about it, all right? I'm not a movie producer. I'm just a carpet guy. Okay, good, good, good. Yep. Let's leave that there for another minute. Finish up that line. Here's where I'd like to do a little of my blending and such. Now, sometimes these jobs you don't have to do any of this afterwards. Just looking at it from different angles, pretty good, pretty nice. It may look even better from this side, back here. But presentation is always key. You want it to look the best as you can from the side they're going to enter first, right? First impressions. You know, that carpet has a direction, right? The light, the dark. So you can manipulate even this process. Maybe push everything this way if it's going to look better from this angle, right? Or go back this way. Time is your best friend on any repair, because the more that it's lived on, walked on, vacuumed, the better the patch piece is going to look. Okay, my second job today, Milpitas. This carpet needed to go. Look at this. That's what I was dealing with. Oh man, I don't want to get it messy, but look at this old brown carpet. This has had to have been 40-year-old carpet. Okay, do you see this? Dye marks here. Here's the deal though. I had seen previous patches from decades ago that someone else did, and While the patches, some of them were better than others, she had them all over the house, by the way. Doorways. They had a couple golden retrievers. They were already color-wise. They matched in, they thinned, they wore with the rest of the carpet. I think they used maybe a little bit too much seam sealer because I could feel, because I had to do a repair near one of them. It was a little beaded up and dark on one of the seam lines. But as far as the material, it blended in with the rest of the carpet, and they were still holding up. So, you know, it's just, you got a lot of customers who are so apprehensive. The tenants are so nervous. Is my landlord going to find out? Am I going to have to pay security deposit? And so forth. So I think that this manner of needing quick results has just caused me to try to, as best as I can, blend the carpet to look good. Again, I'm not a cleaner, so if I offered cleaning, maybe I wouldn't do this extra step and I would just say, hey, let me charge you and clean this room. But once again, for some of my customers, they're not ready, or they don't want to pay extra money to clean the room or the house, the hallway, the stairs, the other 3-4 bedrooms. Right? And in this case, they already cleaned it. So this is about as good as they could get it with cleaning. So we just want to make it, try to look, blend in as like it was never there. I mean, of course, that's always the goal. And I think we're getting there. I think it's looking good. All right, let's finish this last seam, wrap it up, maybe tell another story, say our goodbyes, and get home. 5:30. Shoot, it's going to be dark when I get home. Well, I'm excited this summer. I've got my son Brock, he's 12, and just like my dad did for me, I'm going to have him start helping me. So that's a big milestone. Nothing too crazy. I help my dad like every day that he went to work. I'm probably going to have my son maybe 2 days out of the week, and that way I can kind of look ahead and cherry pick the best jobs, you know, and just show him the ropes. My dad was always good to me. He always paid at least minimum wage. So give my boy opportunity to make some money, learn a trade, spend time, and just really looking forward to that. But when we did installs, there's plenty of work. Not going to be as much work here. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe you got the whole social media thing, so maybe I can monitor and help him. They're already into editing videos and whatnot. Trick is when my son Brody is going to be old enough. When I grew up, we had me, my brother Paul, my brother David, my cousin Richard, our neighborhood pal Andrew, my uncle Richard, who was the installer manager over at Carpet Exchange in Tacoma. He'd work and then come and help us. My dad, this is just a grip of us. Matthew, my cousin, he was helping too. So way too many people for one house, right? All these kids walking in, like, what's going on? That's my roots. Do I expect my kids to follow after me? I'm excited to see what they do with their life, but I want to give them some type of trade. I don't know if carpet's going to be, they may not want to do it. Carpet may not be around in 10 years. One thing I've learned from social media, people are really opinionated against carpet. Kind of get a platform like I have, been given, and I have people from all over. I mean, European countries, it's like non-existent. Besides, a few places, England, Australia has some. They're done with carpet. Nothing like working, doing all of this, what some customers call magic. And you promote that out there, and you got a smile on your face. And then someone say, throw all that trash away. Carpet's disgusting. I laugh. It's fun. I mean, my wife, if it wasn't for me being a carpet guy, we wouldn't have any carpet in our house. She wants to get rid of the carpet in our living room so bad. Okay, this is near the end, so we're not going to put it there the full time. And there we go. The carpet guy's got to have carpet. You got to believe in your product. That's my opinion anyway. Happy wife, happy life. It's all good though. Stacy's great. Okay, let's let that get cooled down. A little blending. Sometimes it just needs to be pushed down on one side while that glue is still warm. I think the side that I said I don't have to worry about is the side that I see the most. But it's just more shading, I think. And with that, I'm going to call it a day. If you scrolled to the end of this, shame on you. I had a lot of nice things to say, but I understand. Let me know if there's anything that I can explain further and comment below. I really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.